Let's go! Infinite mana times 64! If I were to put this, say, right here, now it's just infinite. Hello everybody and welcome back to some more Project Skycapsule. Today is the day. We're going to be obtaining some of the creative items. Ideally, I'd like to get all 4 of them, but at the very least, I am going to get the Everlasting Mana Pool and the Creative Controller. These two I'm uncertain of, but if I have time, I will do it. The first one we're going to go for is the Guilty Pool, because this one will pretty much take up the whole rest of the episode, because like the rest of these things will just be gathering up the materials. But for this one, there's actually some processes for me to gather up these materials. Such as for this one, I need to do botania, and I did the bare minimum of that. As we go back to the botania line, it didn't actually have me make any Terra Steel or fight the Gaia Guardian, but with this, in order for me to get all these, I actually am going to need things like Elementium, Terra Steel, and Gaia Spirit Ingots, and also the fabulous Mana Pools, which is on thing on its own, which means I actually do need to do both those things. So the first thing that we're going to need is going to be a lot of living wood. We are going to need, I'm not sure how much of it exactly we're going to need, but we are going to need to grab a good bit of it just to make sure that we have that. Then, we need to make the Terra Steel. In order to make sure that we have that, we're going to need to make this terrestrial agglomerated plate. After that, we just need to make sure that we got ourselves some of the lapis lazuli, and I did need some living rock, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, I don't have any of that, so I need to grab some stone. And there we go, we got ourselves enough living rock, so then we just need to put it in a formation like this. I dug out this little hole while I was waiting for that, and then we have to make this little checkerboard pattern with the living rock and lapis blocks, and then we put the agglomeration plate right here, and then we're done. So now all that's left is to utilize this thing to make the Terra Steel. So it would need mana steel, a mana pearl, and a mana diamond. So what we'll need to do is we'll need to take this spark right here and then place that on top of there. This way we can transfer the mana straight from the pool right over to here, because we are going to need that. Then we need to go ahead and throw in a diamond, a pearl, and iron, and then we got ourselves all of these. So now we can go ahead and either throw it on or right click, but right clicking just makes it easier, and then the mana goes straight over to it. You see the little blue orbs floating around it as they will soon turn green. I might want, actually I shouldn't need it, because I mean that is a full mana pool. I was gonna grab a blacker lotus in case I needed to throw in some more mana right there, but I shouldn't need it. Now it's turned green, so I think after this rotation right here, it should make the mana steel right now. Yes, baby. There we go. Now, normally, you would need to do that every time you wanted some mana steel. But, not mana steel, Terra Steel. But we can go ahead and just throw these in right here and then get ourselves a buttload of Terra Steel right off the bat. So now that we've gotten ourselves the Terra Steel, we need to convert one of them into some nuggets. That way we can now make this Elven Gateway Core. Then after that, we need to take one of these, and well, actually 3 of them technically, and then make ourselves 3 of these glimmering wood, living wood. After that, we can go ahead and then just put this somewhere. I'll put it right here, just that way it's all in the same layer, so then we can go ahead and put those like that. We'll want to get rid of these corner pieces in a second. There we go. What am I doing? I could just break those instantly with my draconic staff of power. I almost forgot its name there. So these things are going to be a symmetrical thing where it's going to have 3 on each side, and then right in the centers of each of them, you're going to have the glimmering living wood right there. So then we can go ahead and build up that one last time right there. Put that boy right there, and there we go. The portal is now done. The only thing that I am missing is 2 more mana pools and pylons of some kind. Okay, yeah, they were called the natural pylons. So in order to make those, we first need to make 2 of these mana pylons, because you need 1 for each of them. And while we're making these, I'll go ahead and make 4 more, because later on we're going to need something called gaia pylons, but those will be made for later. So now we can go ahead and just use, okay, apparently we're using that one. We will not be doing that. We're going to go ahead and use these, and there we go. Oh, and that used up all the nuggets, too. Ah, it all thinks ahead. So then what we need to do is we just need to place these right on top of the mana pools, which I've already prepared, and then we need to throw mana into them. Why isn't that ear scrunching? It's supposed to be ear scrunching and then filling with mana. I wonder if you can only use the lotus when you actually already have mana in it. Okay, so let's aim the mana spreader right there. And then let's grab ourselves the blaze blocks. And then let's see. If I throw this here, and then we aim it right at this, and then it's going to start transmitting mana into it. Oh, no, it's not, because it didn't configure correctly. Okay, now it's connected to there, and now mana is going in. Okay, so now if I throw this in, okay, so you do need to have mana in it already. Okay, so let's go ahead and then aim some over at this one also. Now it's going to shoot the mana in, and then we can just go ahead and spam these things right into here. We only need both of these things to be up about a quarter of the way for each to turn this thing on, but I'm just gonna max it out just for the sake of things. Now all that's left for us to do is to just right-click this thing with the Wand of the Forest, and there we go. You can see that it depleted a buttload of mana, so that way this thing can turn on. But it shouldn't take any more until I actually use it. I mean, if it does, then oh well. Hopefully we won't need this thing for much longer. So let's go ahead and then grab ourselves some mana steel, and then we throw 2 of those into there, and then out pops an elementium ingot. And then let's go ahead and then mass duplicate this thing, just because, you know, mass duplication. We love mass duplication in here, even if it's not legal. Then we're also going to want to go ahead and throw in some mana pearls, and then grab ourselves all the pixie dust, baby. There we go. I was going to say, I believed I grabbed 16 of those things. And then we can go ahead and then just stack it all up once more. We're also going to want to go ahead and then throw a mana diamond in there, so that way we can then get ourselves a dragon stone. And then we're going to use the elementium, the pixie dust, and the dragon stone to make ourselves the rod of the Bifrost. Its literally only purpose is to mix Alf Glass with it, so that way you can then make Bifrost. And Alf Glass you get from Mana Glass, which you get from mana pooling that. Either way, then we can go ahead and mix that together, and then we got ourselves some Bifrost blocks. Yay! After that, I think, yeah, we can go ahead and mix it with a mana pool, and then that'll get us the fabulous mana pools. So let's go ahead and then mass produce a mana pool, because this is going to be essential for later anyways. So we can go ahead and do that. I think this stack should do just fine on their own. Then we can go ahead and just mix a stack of this with the Bifrost block. We cannot. We needed to do the recipe like this. I am stupid. But there we go. Now we got ourselves a fabulous mana pool, which is one of the crafting ingredients for the everlasting mana pool. So if we look in the crafting recipe, it's going to call for the fabulous and the normal mana pools, and it's also going to call for the Terra Steel, the Elementium ingots that we had just made, and also a Gaia Spirit ingot, which we have yet to make. In order to make that, we need Gaia Spirits, which means we now need to fight the Guardian of Gaia. Hopefully, the area is big enough. What I needed to do was I needed to make a beacon, and you could have the bottom part be anything. I just decided to have it be diamonds because I rich. And then 2 blocks out diagonally, well, actually, it's technically 3 blocks out, and then 2 blocks up, you then put the Gaia pylons on all 4 of the corners. And hopefully, the area will be big enough. If it's not big enough, it will tell me, and it'll leave a giant circle, but it should be big enough. I'm 14 out on all sides, so it should be fine. Oh, yes, it is, baby. Okay, so here we go. So I've already used the Archangel Smite on this thing in the past, and I've also used the Draconic Staff. Let's see how the Qatar fares, okay? Does it do anything? Oh, it doesn't do anything. Oh, how interesting of you. Okay, so if this thing can't actually do anything, then it's useless to me. Okay, crap. I was hoping to find a new way to humiliate this boy. Oh well. Okay, actually, you know what? Let's go back to basics. Okay, let's start shooting the arrows. Okay, unleash the heat seekers. Your teleportation will not stop me, and my shield all over my body will protect me from all what is to come. Actually, you know, I think my thing will actually help me, because we got all these guys going on here to some sick battle music, by the way, which will not be lasting very long. Oh, hello. How are you doing, friend? Oh, you're all gonna die. Oh, yeah, and they're burning because it's the sun. Yes! Hooray for the sun! Here comes the sun! Doo-doo-doo-doo! Actually, I can't do that. No, we don't want any of that copyright. Also conflicting with the actual song that's currently playing, you know. Yeah, the sick rock solo. I have heard this song so many times. I am not gonna lie to you all. It's engraved into my brain. Oh, there it is. Unleash! I kept pressing the wrong buttons. Go! Unleash! This weapon is way more effective against this guy. Wow. But there we go. So now we got the Gaia spirits. So now what we can do is we're gonna want to mass duplicate this thing, because the only other way for us to get even more of these is to fight the guy again, which we really don't need to do. And we could even fight the harder version now, but let's be honest, there's no point in doing that. So now that we have the spirits, we can go ahead and use those, mix with some Terra Steel, and then make ourselves the Gaia Spirit Ingot. And now, with all of that together, we now have ourselves a whole stack of these Gaia Spirit Ingots, which now means we can go ahead and then craft this everlasting guilty pool. I mean, we are going to need to grab 4 more of these final stars, as well as some final star shards, but those are all inexpensive. So let me gather up everything and then put it on the giant crafter, and let's get ourselves our first creative item. Alrighty, here we go. It's time for the moment of truth. So right here in the center, we put the final star, and then surrounding it, I already have the final star shards just because those things weren't stackable, so I couldn't really hold on to them. So then in the 4 corners right up here, we will then put the other final stars. Oh, these ones are going to become complicated. Well, good thing I can just leave these things in here like that. And then let the patterns begin. All throughout this little square now will be the fabulous pools. So let's just go ahead and spread those out like that. Good to remember patterns like that. Then surrounding it on the 4 corners around here, right in front of that, yep, we then need to put the Gaia spirits. I'm doing this in a formulaic way, just that way I can actually remember how to do things. And then it goes Elementium, Terra Steel, Gaia Spirit, Terra Steel, Elementium. Okay, alrighty, there we go. And then finally, the last part should just be to place down all of the mana pools. I botched it, I messed it up, I ruined everything, I brought shame to my family. But there we go. Now with all that together, the everlasting guilty pool. Even though it's just the creative mana pool. But there we go! Look at it! It's infinite. There will never be anything like it. It is pure. It is beautiful. It is replicatable. Let's go. Infinite mana times 64! Anyways, though, next up on our creative list is going to be the Creative Controller. This thing is a little bit insane. So this one, for the most part, I have most of this stuff automated, so I can just go ahead and get these things, but we're going to need, I think that's, yeah, 7 of the improved processors on both sides, so that's 14 improved processors, 14 basic processors, I don't even know how many advanced processors that is, plus these 2 new ones called the Neural Processor, which takes a whole new recipe, which is combining the raw advanced and the raw improved ones together with all these other things to make that. And then also the Withering one, which is going to take a Nether Star. Now, none of these things are particularly hard to get, because, I mean, I already have all of this stuff at the ready. I'm just gonna need to gather this stuff up once again. Oh boy. Alrighty, so for this recipe, the final star and its components are all still in the same place. That's all well and good, but there's one last thing that we have yet to collect, and that's this controller right here. Did I get it? Okay, I did. So for now, our storage system has gone dark. That is fine. So right in the center, we go ahead and put ourselves the controller. That was the wrong thing. Then we can go ahead and then surround this bad boy with these neural ones, if that is correct. It is. And then we can go ahead and put the Withering processors like that. And then I'm pretty sure that, yeah, those ones are all on the outside, and then the rest of them on the inside would just be for the advanced ones. And now, the Creative Controller is ours, which means we no longer need that pipe to connect to this. We still need the pipe, though, because it connects to everything else. But nonetheless, infinite power without ever being used. Unfortunately, we can't take the power out of that thing. But, yeah, you know what? That's fine. Especially since we might might be getting creative power next. And the reason why I'm not certain is because we're going to be making this creative energy cube next. But I don't know if when we make it, it's full of that infinite energy, or it can just hold infinite energy. If it gives us infinite energy, that would be absolutely awesome. If it just holds it, oh well. But in order to make these things, we need all of the different forms of the energy cubes before it. Oh boy, that is going to be a process. And I don't even just need one of those, no. I need an absolute crap load of them. Oh my gosh, this is going to be insane. So, in order to make all of these things, you need a bunch of the different alloys, which is going to be a bunch of different processes and stuff like that. And a lot of it, I'm just going to mass duplicate over there. So once again, let's just grab the final items that we're going to need for this thing. Heck, you know what? Why don't we go over the other last thing right here, which is going to be for the other creative item, and then we'll just make them all right here. Now, the other thing that we're going to be making after the creative energy cube is going to be the creative storage upgrade. It takes all the different storage upgrades, which most of them are EMCable, so I already have all of them. And then it takes the stars, you know, all those good things. But after all of that, in order to make this, it takes the tier 9001 resource generator, which means I would have to use up this bad boy right over here. Except this thing, despite the fact that I got it from a random reward, well, not really random, but I got it from the chapter reward, it can be crafted. Because in order to make this, you need a bunch of the different catalysts at the tier 3 level, and you need all of the resource generators, and a cyan EMC link. All those things I can do, it'll just take me a little bit of time.
1 hour later.
Alrighty, we've reached the ultimate energy cube, and it is now full of energy. So, let's go ahead and then throw this bad boy into here, and there we go. Now we have 64 of all of the energy cubes completely filled up, and I also managed to make the other tier 9000, so let's just go ahead and make a bunch of those, you know? Because why freaking not? Oh my goodness. So let's go ahead and then throw that one into there, just because this recipe is the easiest to remember. Either way though, we combine all that together, and there we go. The creative storage upgrade is now done, which means if I were to put this into any one of these things, it could now hold an infinite amount of it. I can't infinitely extract. That's a completely different upgrade. But this one at the very least will not come out. Well, I mean, it's not like there's gonna be much more episodes of this anyways, so I wouldn't really need it, but I just wanted to mass produce them all. You know, I wanted to get all of the creative items mass produced, and I failed. Oh my gosh. Either way, let's see if I fail at getting multiple power. Please let me grab it and... Oh my gosh, wait, hang on a minute. Oh my gosh, it is infinite! Oh my gosh, and that's the creative items, baby! Yes! I wasn't sure if this was going to be that it could hold an infinite amount of energy, or if it was infinite energy. It very much is infinite energy. Oh my gosh, infinite. Yes! Oh my gosh, that means we no longer need this freaking thing right here, constantly running on potatoes and stuff like that. Then I need to have this watch of flowing time being on in order for it to be able to keep up with all the generations. If I were to... No, Cookie. You forgot that you wanted to mass duplicate it. Oh my goodness, yes. Either way though, so if I were to put this, say, right here, now it's just infinite. So now all that's left for me to do is to get all of the challenge items. Let's go ahead and check that off, and that'll open up the doorway to each of them. Did you like this video? Good. Then be sure to check out our last video where we took on the Chaos Dragon in order to gain its Chaos Shards with a varying difficulty. Bye-bye!